So I recently have started to see a lot of my past rejections as being a form of redirection or a protection, and that have helped me kind of move through my grief a lot easier. One of the rejections that have really hurt me, I think, was when I was hired by the dean's office at my college at the University of Guelph in my last summer when I was finishing my thesis. I was also working on this research project, and they asked me to do a wide scan across Canada and the US of any institutional supports for racialized students, because they want to implement, or at least make, the institution more supportive. And I was able to advocate for a BIPOC advisor role, which I didn't have, and it's a role that I wish I had when I was a grad student. And even though my research, I basically wrote the job description, the hiring process was really questionable. I didn't even know about the job opening till the last minute when the deadline got extended, and then my supervisor who worked with me on this project actually told me, and so I applied, put in my application, and yet I didn't even get an interview for the job that I have created and wrote the job description for. But through all my interviews, because I did connected with a lot of the coordinators, deans, and student advisors in different roles in different institutions, and a lot of them have talked about the high level of burnout, or like how their work is really not sustainable long term. So even though I was able to advocate for even just one BIPOC advisor, I knew that that's not enough. And even then, like, I've realized that now, I realized that me not getting that position actually protected me from getting even more burnt out by one institution. That is partly why I want to focus, at least for the first little bit, while I'm getting my coaching and consulting business up and running, is to prioritize racialized and queer students of color in post-secondary education, because that's what I have recently went through and have a lot of experience, over a decade of experience doing. And I gotta say, I got 2 degrees without any accommodations, without knowing that I have multiple invisible disabilities, and my brain works differently. And so I've tried many different methods and different techniques, and I kind of figured out what works for me. And I really do think that I have enough, at least I know what I'm doing, and I have a lot of tools and a lot of resources that I can share with anyone else who is struggling, because I know that how I survived is how I'm going to help heal or help others through their own survival. And I know I have a lot to offer still. I absolutely loved teaching. I actually really missed teaching, because when I was a grad student, I got to TA a bunch of courses, and for 3 years I was teaching or running seminars for a second year of undergrad course in the development of human sexuality. And even though the instructor, the professor who taught the course, is a cis-het white woman, I was told by my students that they really appreciated and enjoyed my seminars, because they were doing a lot of presentations as a group, talking about different themes and researching different areas, and I was able to sort of help facilitate discussions and give them feedback on what the findings are and what they found helpful. And I think part of the learning and being educated is to be able to share all the knowledge and the skills that I have built over the years. I just don't want to do it within the confinement of one institution. There's another thing that I have learned from writing that report and like working on that research project, promising practices for institutional support for racialized students in post-secondary institutions, is that at this point it's almost like unethical for institutions to push for retention and all these pipeline programs to get more students into their schools without actually ensuring that there are adequate supports in place for them to succeed in their studies. And I feel like I'm fortunate and very lucky that I have had incredible mentors since I started to take control over my own education and becoming like a researcher, a community-based researcher. I have grown over the years and learned to be more critical, and I'm really excited to be able to help others who wants to walk with me. And if you are interested to connect, please feel free to reach out. You can go to my website and book a call or send me an email, and we'll set something up and see if we're a good fit. Because I know I'm not for everyone. My teaching and my coaching style is going to be different. It's much more personalized. I know how to work with different brains, different ways of thinking, different ways of learning. But we all know DEI, hiring, and all that has always been questionable.